This week's video is on the David Austin roses that I've grown, or some of them. The first one in the video is Abraham Darby. Uh, I've grown it in Georgia and now in Missouri. Um, for me, it seems to be hardy enough to survive the 5B, 6A zone that I'm in. Um, I find it has a very nice scent to it. I like the fact that it changes colors. Definitely a rose, in my opinion, that is worth growing. Next rose is Graham Thomas. For me, I've only grown it in Oregon and a couple of the gardens that I had there. Um, that would have been a zone 8. I never had it grow super big, but I have heard that it does. Um, I had some problem with black spot, but I'm okay with that. I find that the color is worth it. I like the form as well. I would recommend growing Graham Thomas if you can get it. The next rose is Heritage. I've only grown it here in Missouri. Uh, I like it because it's nice soft color, nice soft pink color. It does form hips, so that's something if you are interested in. I'd recommend growing Heritage. The next rose is John Clare. It's a nice solid pink David Austin rose. I only grew it in Oregon. It's a nice rose if you're able to find the plant. I'd recommend growing this for David Austin rose. This next David Austin rose is called Tottering-Gently By. I've only grown it in Missouri. For me, I do not like this rose. It's too similar to the Sunny Knockout, which I didn't like that rose either. Um, some singles are great, like Blue for You is great. I don't have a problem with that, but just the yellow fades too fast on By Gently. Um, I struggle to remember what order the name is. That has nothing to do with the rose, though. I just don't like the rose. Um, I can't. I won't recommend it to someone, and if I had to do it again, I wouldn't grow this rose. The next rose is Evelyn. Evelyn is a nice apricot color. Um, this is probably not going to be a popular opinion, but Evelyn is kind of just a nice. It's a nice apricot color. So is Bliss Parfuma. Evelyn has more of a fragrance into me than Bliss Parfuma, but it Evelyn and Bliss Parfuma are very similar in my opinion, or they can be. It also can be similar to Abraham Darby, and I like Abraham Darby better than Evelyn. The next rose is Crown Princess Margareta. I only grew this in Georgia. It was a nice, uh, soft color, kind of a yellow apricotish and to me at least. Um, I didn't grow it for that long, so I don't have a lot of experience with it, but it's definitely a rose that's worth having. The next rose is William Morris. It is a offspring from Abraham Darby. It's got some of the colors of Abraham Darby. To me, at least, I have found that it's less apricot-ish and more pinkish. And the shape of the petals are also different. Definitely a rose that's worth growing. I'd recommend this rose to anyone who would want it. The next rose is the Squire. It's an older David Austin rose, red or really dark pink, but leaning toward red. Um, I've found that the blooms nod somewhat, which is fine. I don't mind nodding blooms. I personally like the older David Austin roses because they don't hold their roses up right as much as uh, some of the other modern garden roses out there. Uh, I haven't had too many problems with it. I'd recommend it if anyone wanted to find it. The next rose is Cymbaline. I've only grown this rose in Missouri. I'm not really sure what to think of it. I've had it for a couple of years. It's not for me. It's not the most floriferous, floriferous rose out there, which I mean is okay for the most part. But If you're looking for a big bloomer, maybe I just have it in the wrong setting. I don't know. It's an interesting rose, but more of just because it's a David Austin rose. I wouldn't not recommend it, but I don't know if I'd recommend it either. The next rose is Sister Elizabeth. I've only grown it in Missouri. It's a nice little pink rose. For me, it's the blooms stay a little small, which is fine. I don't mind the size of the blooms. I'm not trying to get massive blooms out of my roses. Um, the bush stays somewhat smaller than several of my other David Austin roses, which again is fine. I'm fine with that. Just as a heads up for me, I've got some rabbits in the area that really like Sister Elizabeth. So if you have rabbit problems, just keep that in mind. And the next rose is Port Sunlight. I've only grown it in Missouri. Um, it's the yellow orange ish color. Um, it's a nice rose bush. It doesn't bloom as often as other David Austin roses. Um, but it is a nice color, and up against Tuscany Superb, it has a nice contrast. The next rose is the Pilgrim. Um, I've read that you can grow it as a climber. Uh, for me, I've found that it is a nice soft yellow, very nicely put up against alongside Abraham Darby and Marianne in my yard. Um, I would recommend it if you can get it. The next rose is Lady of Shalott. It's a nice, well, I would call it copper. Um, and in my yard, it seems to be unbothered by whatever else is growing around it. Tomato plant, garlic, whatever. It seems to just take whatever it gets. And so it's a very nice rose, worth growing. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video.